Hey, first thing you need to know is that I have started getting a lot of submissions magically. They have started coming in, so this will take me a while to go through all of them. Please have a little bit of patience. If you want me to play your game, send it to JonasPlaysYourGame@gmail.com and send a pretty good mail, because I think, at some point I will not be able to play all of this anymore. I don't think I can play all of the games you've sent me, but I will try my very best, obviously. I want to help as many of you as possible. So that's what we're gonna do now. Let's go. Today we're playing a game by, I don't know, didn't leave his name, but he made a game called Zirkon Zaga. You can already download it on itch.io, and he also has a YouTube channel. Links to both of that in the description. Let's see which questions he has. Are some obstacles too hard or too easy? Does the game's graphics style look too bad? Is wall jumping too difficult or feel weird? Did you find both the objectives, white squares, in the game? Did you take too long to figure out how to play? Does the character control well? Is the vaporwave inspiration in my game noticeable? I don't know that game, so I can probably not tell you, but maybe some of my viewers can. Should I bother adding more to this game, or should I just finish it and leave it the way it is and move on to a new project? The last one is an interesting question, so should you finish this game or not? We will see, but let's jump into your game. So this is my second recording. I wasn't quite happy with the first one because video footage was kind of weird. But this is very good for you, because now I can summarize my thoughts way more quickly and way more condensed. Firstly, I think you're going for a bit of a crappy look here. So yeah, it's a crappy look, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. You can either do a good crappy look or you can do a crappy look. I think this is definitely going more into the direction of a good crappy look. The palm trees, though, are pretty weird, because look at them. They are 2D sprites, and as soon as I get close to them, they turn into real 3D palm trees. This is not good. Fix that. And also they look like assets you took from the asset store, which is also not that awesome. So I like that they bring a bit of green into the scene. I think this desert scene deserves a bit of green, but maybe you can find a different way and a more suitable way to bring some green to the scene. As I've said, I think crappy look is fine. You need to make sure that it's a good crappy look and not a bad crappy look, though. So I'm not really sure about those purple cubes, and in the background you can see a bit of 2D saw wheel sprites. In terms of the design, I think the most important thing for creating a good crappy look is getting the color scheme right. So you really need to make sure that the colors fit together very, very well. That's really important for a good crappy look. It's okay to have weird random textures everywhere, as long as the color scheme fits together. You know, if I look in this direction, I kind of like the look. Maybe this red jump thing there is a bit too annoying and a bit too crappy. I'm not really sure about that. If I look in this direction, looks kind of good, though. You need to fix the color scheme, make the colors a bit more interesting and make them fit a bit better, maybe add a tiny bit of fog, things like that. And as soon as we go further up onto a higher platform, it looks even a bit crappier, though, because we can see the end of the level, and that is always a bit crappy, not good crappy, if you can see the end of the level, so that's not good. You know, I think you need to add a little more detail here and there. You have a lot of very big blocks. Maybe add a couple of more small stone blocks, you know, a couple of small stone cubes here at the bottom, just to make it look a bit nicer. I also kind of like the sand texture. I like that this doesn't look realistic. It doesn't need to look realistic. That's not the point at all. It just needs to be a good crappy instead of a crappy. And as I've said, I think this already goes more in the direction of a good crappy. But there's still a lot of work to do to make this a good crappy look. Maybe the water is a bit extreme, the color of the water. And also maybe the color of those purple cubes is a bit extreme. These stone textures, you know, maybe the cubes need to be a bit darker at the bottom and a bit brighter at the top. That didn't go well. I hope some of my viewers can give you some tips to that as well. I think the look is totally fine. I think you can go with that. I think You need to be aware that it's a bit of a crappy look, and you can make it a pretty awesome crappy look nonetheless, okay? If you're smart about it, you can make this look and feel pretty awesome, and it's already on a good way to be a good crappy look. Then the movement. The first thing you need to fix is the camera movement, because the camera moves firstly really slowly. Secondly, I can only move it this far, so that's all I can do. I would like to move it even further up so I can change the perspective even more. That would be nice if I could do that. And then obviously I also need an option to invert the camera control, the Y-axis, because for me personally this is the wrong way around. This is not what I'm used to, so I would like to invert that camera. There needs to be an option somewhere. You definitely need some sort of shadow or drop shadow under the player, otherwise you can just not see where you will land. It's hard to tell where you are in 3D space. Either a drop shadow directly under you that costs extremely little performance and tells you exactly where you're going to land, or you could also use standard Unity 3D shadow thingy. That would be fine as well. I think lighting this scene correctly would go a very long way. Maybe placing some lights at very smart positions and doing a light bake for this scene will definitely upgrade the look of this a lot. Yes, I know light baking is quite a challenge. It's quite hard to do correctly, but I think light baking could help this look a lot. And the water. Oh my god, the water is so bright. And as you can see from the top here, you can see the end of the level. That is not good crappy, that is crappy. So either make the water plane really, really big so I can't see the end of it, or just make walls around the level, or find something that looks cool and that doesn't just end the level right there, you know? That would be nice. Then in terms of the movement, I think the acceleration of the player is fine, but the maximum speed is too low. In a game like this, I really want to build a lot of momentum. I want to go really fast. I want to do crazy and awesome wall jump stunts, and I feel this speed is definitely too slow to do that. So the way I speed up is fine, but if I keep going in this direction, I want to keep getting faster and faster for a bit. Also, one problem with your wall jump is that it adds a velocity up. So you probably use add force or just add something to the velocity in Unity. I wouldn't do that. I would just set the Y component of the velocity to a fixed value, because the problem with this is if I move up and then use the wall jump, I go way, way, way higher. So let me show you. If I fall down here and I wall jump, I actually keep falling down. That feels pretty shit. So if I fall down and I wall jump, I still want to go up, you know? That's why adding velocity is not enough. Just set the velocity to a fixed value. This way you can control way better how far the jump will go, how high you can jump, and it doesn't depend that much on your current velocity. For example, if I jump here and press wall jump right after that, look how high I jump. This is just insane. And this happens when you just add the velocities up. And I don't know, maybe such a high wall jump would be pretty cool. But the problem is the inconsistency. So if I am not this fast anymore, I can wall jump as much as I want. I will still drop down. So honestly, I don't like that, so that's something you need to fix about the controls. And then also the acceleration is something you need to fix about the controls. And the camera movement is something you need to fix about the controls, in my opinion. And then I also think you should add some sort of checkpoint system or some way to get back to points where you were before, because replaying huge portions of your level over and over again feels pretty stupid. Nobody wants to do that in 2018. So just, for example, put a checkpoint up here so I don't need to replay the entire thing if I fall down, because this happens quite often at this place right here. I cannot make this jump. Yeah. See, this is too hard for me. And now I have to play everything again. Just put a checkpoint there, please. Also, I think It would be pretty cool if this level were a bit more open worldish, so I could explore a bit more freely. Maybe another path over there, so I can take different paths, different routes. That would be awesome. Maybe that's not what you're going for, but I think I would enjoy this in this kind of game. Oh, by the way, you also might have to rethink the player character. Just using the basic Unity feels a bit weird to me, but maybe that's just me because I know it's the default shape in Unity, so that always looks a lot like a prototype and not like a finished game for me. It can be an abstract shape. There's absolutely no problem with using an abstract shape, but this shape in particular, don't know. Don't really know. You know, what's also important for a good art style is also using or creating some interesting contrast. Good contrast is a pretty difficult thing to achieve. For example, you have some contrast right here with your blocky level and then those detailed palm trees right here. So this contrast somehow makes it more interesting, but at the same time they don't really fit together. So maybe you can see if you can create some interesting contrasts in a way that fits together a bit better. So maybe get rid of those palm trees. You can find a different way to get some green into your scene. I think the green is really good for the scene. It's very beneficial. It makes it look way nicer. But I'm really not sure if those palm trees are the right choice. First of all, I would start with putting a couple of bricks on the ground, a couple of smaller blocks. And then if you go for a crappy style like this, don't be afraid to make it look crappy on purpose. So maybe you can just use a couple of blocks as a tree or something like that. No, just get creative, because everybody can port a palm tree from the asset store, but not everybody can get creative and create a good crappy style. Everybody can create a crappy style using assets though. That's not all that hard. Shit. I feel your game has a pretty cool vibe. It feels kind of cool. It makes me feel kind of nostalgic, and in my opinion that's a good thing. Maybe a bit of guidance for the level would be cool. I think you know where to go here, but here is one of those places where I think not everybody will figure out where to go. Should I go here? Should I go here? Should I go here? So one easy way to do this is to put some collectibles here where I need to jump. That's an easy way to show me that I need to go there. But maybe also think about putting an arrow here or just something that shows me that I need to go this way, because I think I would not have figured that out by myself. I just saw that in your gameplay video that you have on your YouTube channel. That's why I know I need to go this way. Oh, see, now I managed to propel me up here because I did the wall jump right after jumping from the ground. This is just because of the thing I said earlier, that you just add a velocity instead of setting a fixed velocity. I hope finally I can get to this island from here. Bam! Yeah, finally. The water going up and down is an interesting idea. What is this? Okay. This is cool. I like this. It's somehow works like an elevator thingy. That's cool. You know, this is fun. And especially in places like this, I wish my character would go way faster and that would feel way more flowy. And I like that it feels a bit more open worldish here. That's a cool puzzle. I can appreciate that. But once again, I think with my trick I can get up there. Oh, I cannot wall jump on the surface? Why can I not wall jump on the surface? Is it too slippery? Why does it not work? Feels weird. Or can I only wall jump on stone walls? I think if I cannot wall jump on a surface, it needs to look way more slippery than this. I don't really understand. This is stone and this is stone. So honestly feels pretty weird that I cannot go up there. Whew! Don't know if that was the intended way, but it most definitely worked. No! Let's see. Okay, this worked. This is way too many dynamic lights, by the way. Just putting a dynamic light into every single one of these cubes costs a lot of performance. I would not do that. If those are real lights, I would definitely not do that. You can find different ways to create a similar effect. Don't put dynamic lights into absolutely every collectible. That's cost so much performance that you could use on little decorations, and they would get you way further than the lights in your collectibles. These saw wheels right here, I'm really not sure if they are good crappy or bad crappy. I think they are bad crappy because they are just 2D sprites in a 3D game. No, doesn't really work for me. A weird pacing challenge. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can do something like this, but I really don't feel like replaying the entire level again if I don't make this. No, thank you. That's it. I'm done. I'm finished. One more question you had was, should you finish this game or should you start a new project? I definitely think you should continue with this project. You can turn this into something absolutely awesome. I think this has a lot of potential. You can definitely create a cool game with this. Just need to put in a bit more work or a lot more work. I think it can become something cool, so definitely continue with this one. Not only because it can become something cool, but also because it's a good practice to finish your projects. You don't just want to learn how to start new projects, you also want to learn how to finish them, how to go that extra mile to make it look really nice and all that good stuff that you otherwise wouldn't learn if you didn't finish your project. Finish it and keep improving, keep iterating. I don't recommend to build a lot of levels yet. Before you start building your levels and your game content, you should definitely try to nail your movement so it feels absolutely perfect to move around with this little white thing. And then you can start building more levels. Building the levels first is not a good idea at all, because then when you have to change the movement again, you need to rebuild all the levels. That's not good. Also do something about the palm trees and the color of the water and the bounds of the level. Movement, camera, all that good stuff, you know, the jump. You can turn this into an amazing game. I believe in you, and I already kind of like it. If you have any ideas how to improve this game, leave your feedback in the comments. That would help a ton. Thank you very much for watching. Make the world your playground, and see you in the next one. Bye.